Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Ramon Preston Show. Welcome to the Ramon Preston Show. I am your host, Ramon Preston, and guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Today, we're going to be talking about how to analyze an investment property. How to analyze an investment property. So here's what I need you to do very quickly. I need you to hit the like button. I need you to hit the share button. I need you to text, tag, lolly dolly, everybody, and let them know Prophet Ramon, the squad. We are live on the Ramon Preston Show on this winning Wednesday, this real estate Wednesday, and we're talking about how to analyze an investment property. Now listen, whether you are a beginning real estate investor, a seasoned real estate investor, or maybe you are anticipating to get into real estate as an agent, as a broker, or anything in between, this information that I share every Wednesday on the Ramon Preston Show is directed towards those of you who have dreams and desires to get into the industry of real estate. There are so many different layers in real estate, whether it's as an agent, an investor, whether it's as a broker, you could be a lender, that's a part of real estate, an appraiser, you could be a home inspector, you can actually be a developer. You could be a wholesaler, a flipper, whatever it is that you anticipate to do, or maybe you're just not sure about what it is that you want to do in real estate, but you just want to learn the fundamentals. You want to learn some of the ins and outs. Well, guess what? The information that I'm going to share with you today is going to be critical to whatever it is that you plan to do in real estate. And so I'm going to be showing you how to analyze an investment property. I can guarantee if you just take what I'm going to share with you today about analyzing an investment property, you can literally start Googling. You can literally start searching the general public MLS, and you can take these same terms, you could take these same tools, and you will be able to apply them, and you will see how real estate investing can actually be made easy, especially when you got the right information. So please hit the like button, hit the share button, tag lolly dolly everybody, let them know Prophet Ramon, the squad. We are live on the Ramon Preston Show. It is Wednesday, January the 5th. I'm sure if you've been watching this show, you're probably interested in either business, finances, both, and most likely you're probably interested in investing. So even though real estate is a specific object of investing, you still need to understand the concept of investing no matter what object of investing you're going to get into. For me and for my wife and for a lot of people that we do business with, real estate is the ideal investment for us. However, I want you to still understand the concept of investing. And so we're going to analyze an investment property. Hey, let me tell you something. Matter of fact, while I was preparing for the show this morning, I do this almost every day. I started searching LoopNet, Crexy. I was searching the FMLS and the Georgia MLS system that my wife and I have access to here in Metro Atlanta. And I was looking for the ideal property that I could actually perform or conduct a preliminary underwriting process on. Now, guess what? When I talk about analyzing real estate, I'm actually talking about underwriting because that's what it is. And guess what? Here's the truth. Most real estate agents, and I say this respectfully, most real estate agents don't necessarily operate as underwriters, okay? They don't necessarily analyze investment properties. Now, there are a lot of real estate agents who understand underwriting. They understand real estate investing. They understand the terms and the concepts that are needed in order to properly analyze an investment property. But again, if you are a real estate agent and you're looking to just put yourself in a position to provide this type of service to an investor, this information is going to be valuable to you. Maybe you understand sales and marketing when it comes to real estate. You may understand purchases, you may understand leases, but investing is something that you don't understand. And when you say you don't understand investing, whether you're an agent or not, it's really you just don't understand the analytics behind investing. You don't understand the math behind investing. So please hit the like button, hit the share button, tag some family members and friends, and let them know Prophet Ramon on this Winning Wednesday, this Real Estate Wednesday, is getting ready to talk about how to analyze an investment property. Also, I need you to put in the comments what city you're watching your boy from, or maybe what state. You might not be in Georgia, so it may not be a city in Georgia, but what state you're watching me in. Whatever city you're in. You could be in Chicago, you could be in New York, you could be in LA, you could be in the Bronx. I don't know where you're at. You could be in the Carolinas, you could be in Bahamas. Just let us know where you're watching us from. One of the reasons why I like to ask our viewers where they're watching from is because we have so many people that come on the live. We have so many people that come on our replays and who rewatch the Ramon Preston Show. And I like for everyone in our community to at least know where other people are watching from. Sometimes it's just good to know that there are people outside of your scope, outside of your community, that's actually watching the Ramon Preston Show. Now, of course, my squad, they are lurking in the comments. So if you have any questions that you would like for me to answer, whether it's about real estate, investing, holding companies, wealth building, financial literacy, biblical economics, I don't know, it may be about church. I can cover all bases. So feel free to drop in the comments any question or questions that you may have, okay? I really want to know that. All right. It's like every time I get on the show, I always tell my team that we host this show at 12 o'clock noon, Monday through Friday, and literally we drop this show in the middle of a busy work day here at our headquarters. And so a lot of times when I'm on the show, I get phone calls, I get text messages, I get emails, and some of it is like really priority and important. I mean, of course, I ain't passing up no money, because if it was some money on the line, I'm answering the phone right here on the live show. So I want to say thank you to all of you. We just recently launched, just to give you an FYI, we just recently launched our Millionaire Mentorship program. Now, some of you have been familiar with our previous business coaching program that we launched in 2021. And most of our business coaching clients are either in the last quarter or the final stages of their coaching program, or maybe they're just a few months in and they're continuing their progress in the program. We discontinued that business coaching program in December because we wanted to come into 2022 with our Millionaire Mentorship program. Now, of course, this mentorship program is a one-year accelerated business coaching and consulting program, and it's somewhat of a hybrid of our coaching and our consulting. So we wanted to create a program that could not only complement our Millionaire Blueprint, but we also wanted to create a program that could provide an extra layer of consulting, an extra layer of accountability, and several other perks or advantages and benefits, like our mentorship program. We're going to be hosting headquarter days, and so at least one day a month we're going to have our mentees that are in our mentorship program come to our headquarters. We're actually hosting our first one this upcoming Thursday. I've got some mentees, some people who are very near and dear to my heart that are going to be here with us this upcoming Thursday for our first official mentoring headquarters day, and they're going to spend pretty much most of the day with us. They're going to be a part of our briefing in the morning when we open up. They're going to be a part of sharing and celebrating our success stories. They're going to be a part of our role playing and our training that we do every day. And then we're going to be taking them through several scenarios of selling, marketing, and other things that make up the operations of a business. So if you're interested in being a part of our 1-year accelerated business coaching and consulting program, and if you're interested in being held accountable on a high level, because you are a high performer and you need people to put fire under your butt so that you can continue to succeed and do what you know you're supposed to do for 2022, then I want you to be prepared by the end of this show today to reach out to me, because we are excited about our millionaire mentorship program. Excuse me if my screen keeps going out. Listen, if you could literally see all the moving parts that I got going on in this studio room, you would be tripping. You'll be like, man, you got a lot going on, dog. I'm talking about, I got screens in front of me. I got screens behind me. I got laptops and MacBooks in front of me. I got wires all the way around the wall and on the floor, lights. We got boards and cables in the other room. So we're still working on finalizing everything for our studio. And so it's probably going to be a week or so before we have it done. It may be 2 weeks. I don't know. But whatever the case is, I'm still figuring out how to come in here every day, host a live show to give you the game and to continue to bring value to you, especially in this new year. So again, if you have any questions, put the questions in the comments. I want to answer all of your questions today, because we're getting ready to talk about how to analyze an investment property. So again, when I say analyze, I'm talking about underwriting. Okay, so when you are analyzing an investment property, and I'm doing a lot of teaching today, so I want you to really hear me and I want you to take good notes. When we talk about analyzing an investment property, analyzing is another word for underwriting. And so when you think about underwriting, typically you're thinking about what a lender or what a mortgage broker or what an institution, a bank would do that's giving you a loan. And yes, banks and brokers and lenders, they're going to underwrite every deal that can potentially be financed through them. However, you as the investor, you as the agent that works for an investor, whether you're the investor or you're the agent, or maybe you're just the assistant and you want to be mentored by an investor. Well, I'm telling you now, if you want to be mentored by an investor and you already know how to analyze investment properties, you're going to be an asset to that investor, because one of the biggest problems, if there's a problem that investors have, is deals. If you can analyze investment properties, and if your analysis of those investment properties can reveal a hidden deal, then you're going to be an asset to that investor, or to yourself, to your company, or if you're an agent, you're going to be an asset to whoever you introduce that investment property to. And so this is why understanding how to analyze investment properties is so important. So again, that's the first takeaway. When we say analyze investment properties, we're referring to underwriting. So there's a process you're going to have to know how to go through in order to identify a piece of property and take that information from that property that you've identified and analyze that information, not just the words or the data, but the numbers, the metrics, in a way that you're able to come to a conclusion as to whether or not that investment property is investable, if that makes sense, okay? Now, in order for us to analyze an investment property, there are certain terms. There are certain terms that you have to use. Of course, you don't necessarily have to use a pen or a piece of paper or just the calculator on your phone, although they're going to be helpful. I'm still kind of old school, so I don't even know if it's old school. I'm just like simple. So even though there is certain software you can use, whether it's on your phone, whether it's on your tablet or your laptop or your desktop, there's certain software, there's certain apps that you can use to analyze residential and or commercial properties. And here's the truth. I'm not really going to get deep into commercial analyzing. And the reason for that is because most investors are really not investing in commercial real estate. Very, very few people that I know who are investors or who are getting into real estate or who are already in real estate, even agents, are not necessarily participating in any commercial deals. And there are a lot of reasons why it's that case, but let's just say for lack of a better way of explaining and making a short story long, let's just say commercial real estate, even though it is real estate, there are a different set of rules. There are a different set of practices. There are a different set of analytics, and everything is just simply different than residential. And so because of that, and because residential real estate investing is more popular, it's easier, the cost of entry is lower, and so there are a lot of reasons why most people go towards residential real estate. And so the information that I'm sharing with you today is really more connected to or directed towards residential analyzing. Okay, we're analyzing residential investment properties. Now, again, if you want more information on how to understand the commercial side of things, my wife and I, we have been real estate consultants for years. And here's something I want you to understand, because this is going to help some of you who are really at the beginning stages of this. My wife and I just recently in December launched our multi-strategy real estate investment company. Okay, it's called RP Capital, and RP Capital is a real estate investment firm that we're using to acquire value add real estate. So of course we're analyzing and underwriting residential investment properties. We're analyzing and underwriting commercial investment properties. And once we analyze and underwrite the properties, whether they're residential and or commercial, that meet our investment criteria, we will acquire those properties through RP Capital, which is our real estate investment firm. At some point, we will be opening those investment opportunities up to not just the pool of investors that we already have relationships with, but many people that we will continue to build relationships with. But when that time comes, outside of what my wife and I and our real estate investment firm is doing, when that time comes for us to, let's say, solicit partnerships or to solicit investors to come in, there are certain legal requirements that come with that. We will have to have attorneys involved. We will have to have certain paperwork filed for that to take place. So just to give you an idea, that my wife and I, for years, we have consulted real estate investors, a few on the commercial side and countless on the residential side. But what we have seen is most people who get into real estate investing on a residential level. And so that's why we like to generalize a lot of our discussions and a lot of our information on the residential side, because that's where most people are, even real estate agents. I truly believe that if you are a real estate agent, or if you want to be a real estate agent, that you need to understand how to analyze investment properties. You need to understand how to underwrite investment properties. Like my wife, she's a real estate agent, real estate professional, and she knows how to underwrite deals better than some underwriters do. I mean, we've had some issues in the past. Now we have an in-house lender, and the people that we have on our team now are like some of the best people in the business. But trust me, in almost 19 years since my wife and I have been married and have been a two-person real estate team, how we started and doing all the things that we've done, we've seen it all. And so we've been through a lot of lenders, brokers, bankers, appraisers, property managers, developers. We've seen a whole lot, okay? So just to give you a heads up on that, I'm clear on what I'm talking about, okay? So I'm gonna give you some terms. I'm gonna share with you some terms that you can use to analyze any investment property. And as I mentioned earlier, when I was preparing for today's show, I was on LoopNet, I was on other platforms, I was in the MLS system, and I actually found a property. I was gonna pull it up for you, but because all of my computers are being used for something today, I'm not gonna be able to pull it up to show it behind me. But I actually pulled up a property that was just put on the market. An agent just listed it yesterday. It was showing the list date as 1/4/2022. So that was yesterday. The agent uploaded the information into the MLS, and it was a duplex. It was a duplex in Conyers, Georgia, close to the downtown district in Conyers, Georgia. If you're not familiar with Atlanta, you might not even know what Conyers is. So it's just one of the cities on the outskirts of Atlanta, on the east side, okay? So if you think about north, south, east, and west, we are in Buckhead. We're pretty much on the north side. Then you have the south, and you have the east and the west, right? So Conyers is on the west. I mean, on the east side of Atlanta. So anyway, I pulled up this property, and I was hoping that I could at least walk you through a simulation of what it would look like, or what it actually looks like when I'm analyzing an investment property, or when you should analyze an investment property. So I'll just use the information that I gathered, and it was just a little bit of information that I was able to gather from the listing, because again, when it is residential, most of the times the agent that lists the property, they're listing it, they're putting as much information as they can on that listing, so that another agent in the MLS system or FMLS system can see that information, because they may be looking for a certain criteria for their clients, right? So again, that's one of the differences between residential and commercial. Residential real estate typically involves two agents. You have an agent who is listing the property to sell it for their client, and then you have another agent that's looking for a certain property for their client, and they happen to find that listing that matches or meets the criteria, and those two agents represent their clients, one who is selling the property and one who's purchasing the property. That's a big difference than a lot of commercial real estate deals, because with commercial real estate, you typically have one broker. And even if you are a broker, they don't always welcome you just to just come in and think you just gonna get a commission. Now, of course, if they want to sell it or want to make something happen, they're gonna do what they gotta do. But a lot of times, it'll just be one broker on a commercial deal. But I'm not gonna get into that. I want to keep my focus on the residential side. But I'm gonna show you these 8 terms that you should be using to analyze an investment property. And trust me again, if you take these 8 terms and you go out after this show and you start Googling, or you go to the general public MLS system and pull up a property, or you go to what is some of the, I forgot some of the platforms like Zillow or what is it, Redfin or Realty.com. You can go to a lot of these websites, and you can pull up properties that are for sale. That's how you're going to analyze it, because a lot of people who don't understand investment property analysis, they assume that there are no deals out there. but really the deal is going to be found in how you analyze a potential investment property. So let me give you the terms that you need to be focusing on and use in order to properly analyze a property, okay? So it's going to be 8 terms I'm going to give you. 1, 2, 3, 7, 8. So I'm going to give you the term. This is a CMA, okay? This is going to be GR for gross rent. This is going to be OE for operating expenses. This is going to be NOI for net operating income. This is going to be DS for debt service, DSCR for debt service coverage ratio. This is going to be CF for cash flow. And this is going to be ROI for return on investments. Now listen, if I'm overwhelming you with this information and you like, man, I ain't gonna be able to keep up with all this and learn all this in just one show. Well, it's just a show. We only do this once a week on Wednesdays to talk about real estate, just to give you enough information to know that it can be made simple. That's one of the courses that I teach in our Millionaire Blueprint, a course entitled Real Estate Investing Made Simple. We have other courses on our 5-point process that we use for real estate investing, and we have an entire course on the practice of real estate. And as I said, I'm a simple person. My wife and I, we have served a lot of investors, a lot of developers, a lot of landlords, a lot of real estate agents who worked for investors that needed people like us to do underwriting and to perform and conduct analysis on potential properties to find the meat on the bone to send to them. And so even though we are newly launched in our own personal real estate investment firm, we have enough experience working with other investors and people who have put a lot of money and a lot of time and effort into investing. We've done it enough to know that these terms work, especially when it comes to residential real estate. So these are the 8 terms. Like literally, if all you do is learn these 8 terms and understand the metrics and the calculations and the mathematics and how to use these to analyze pieces of real estate, just this alone is going to give you the upper hand. Because I'm telling you, there are people who have licenses as agents and brokers that don't necessarily understand a lot of this, okay? So don't think what I'm saying to you is so basic and simple that everybody know it. No, everybody don't know this. So let me explain to you what each of these are, because I'm just used to putting like the abbreviations. So CMA is a comparative market analysis. A GR, that is for gross rent. OE is for operating expenses. NOI is for net operating income. DS is for debt service. DSCR is for debt service coverage ratio. CF is for cash flow. Cash flow, like my rich uncle say, cash flow. ROI is for return on investment. So when it comes to analyzing investment properties, you definitely need to know those 8 terms, okay? So I want you to write them down. And again, if you just get overwhelmed while we're talking about it and you just feel like, man, it's too much for me to learn, listen, there's a whole lot. I feel like that every day. Like every day, I do a lot of studying, I do a lot of research. I have a lot of homework that I give myself every day, okay, before I start my day. And I always add a piece of real estate training to it, to learn more terms, to learn more concepts, to understand all sides of different real estate practices, whether it's commercial or residential or whatever in between. But what I'm telling you is just these 8 terms alone, if you can learn them and understand them, you can use them to properly analyze an investment property. Like I said, I went on the Georgia MLS this morning. I pulled up investment type properties or or rental type properties that I know could be used for rental income. And I pulled up a duplex. It's a duplex. It's a two unit building, multifamily, but it's a duplex. And it's in Conyers, Georgia. It's 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. Okay, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and they're asking $250,000 for it. It was just listed yesterday. I'm not saying it's a good investment, but what I'm saying is, if you're going to analyze an investment property, if you're going to underwrite a property, if you're going to find a deal that's good enough for you or for your client or for someone you have a relationship with to do it, this is how you're going to find the deal. Like, it's not going to happen the other way that most people think. A lot of people just think somebody going to call you and be like, man, I got a good deal. What's the deal? I got a $500,000 property for $250,000. It's $250,000 worth of equity. And all they want is like 20 grand and they willing to walk away. I'm not saying those deals don't exist. I'm not saying those crazy opportunities don't come up. But what I'm saying is, some things are like needles in haystacks that can only be found when you utilize certain terms or tools or techniques to dig into the information that you have on a specific property that you have located, and you start pulling out these things to realize that, oh, there's an opportunity here. There's a deal here. This is how you actually create the deals. Remember, I told you in one of our other Wednesday segments that deals are not found, deals are created. So you should have this written down by now, because I got to erase it. My big whiteboard is supposed to be coming today. So if it comes today, by tomorrow, I have like a 75-inch digital whiteboard behind me, and I'll just be able to like move stuff over, and I have plenty of space. I'll be flexing when that comes. So anyway, we have our CMA. This is a comparative market analysis. GR is gross rent. OE is operating expenses. You got it? NOI is net operating income. DS is debt service. DSCR is debt service coverage ratio. CF is cash flow. And ROI is return on investment. So I'm really like being patient and as slow as I can, because I want to walk you through this analysis process. I want to walk you through this process to show you how you can simply do it. So let's say you went on MLS and you did what I did. You found the property, okay? You found the duplex. Let me just kind of put this down the middle. Let's say you found the duplex. And the duplex is two bedroom, 2 bath, and they're asking for $250,000. Now, here's what I want you to understand, because I got so many pieces to this puzzle that I can share with you, and I'm gonna try to cram as much as I can in. But here's what I want you to understand. When you are not experienced in underwriting and analyzing investment properties to find really good deals for you or for your clients or for whoever, most likely you're going to just look at the price, and if the price is not right or if the price seems to be a little off, you're just going to dismiss that. But this is not how you come to the conclusion of locating and analyzing and finding a good investment deal, okay? What I want to encourage you to do is to just go through the entire analysis. And then once you've gone through the entire analysis, you can always start circling back around and coming back in and through each of these components to see how many angles you can find, because there are so many different angles you can find. Yes, price can be the issue, but if you just stop there at the price, oh, it's $250, it's too much. Oh, it's 250. That ain't nobody paying that. Well, you've just dismissed an opportunity that could actually give you a good return on the investment. You just missed an opportunity to get cash flow. You just missed an opportunity to realize that, wow, the debt service for this based on a certain down payment wouldn't be that high. And the ratio of that debt service as opposed to the NOI is a good spread. You haven't given yourself the time to go through each of these components in your analysis before you made that decision. So don't just conclude it, because this is how you do it. And again, if you want to work for an investor, if you want to get around investors, if you are an agent and you're looking for clients as an investor, or if you just want to be an investor and you want to get in the game because you want to start taking your earned income and converting it into passive income, I'm telling you, this is how you're going to do it, because nobody can tell you how many properties you can analyze. Nobody can tell you how many scenarios you can come up with on a property that other people might be overlooking. And it may be something that somebody else don't want, but it may be something that you do your analysis on and realize, I don't mind parking $20,000 into this deal because here's what my return is going to be. And if you're going to do this analysis, you're going to be more comfortable and confident in making those types of investment decisions because you've done your quote unquote due diligence. So this is a real property that I just pulled up today. It was a duplex in Conyers, Georgia. It's $250,000, 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Okay, so Ramon, how am I gonna analyze this property? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do to figure out if this property can actually be a good deal? Well, here's what you're gonna do. You're going to look at the CMA. The CMA is the comparative market analysis. So what does that mean? That means you're going to have your agent, your real estate agent. Now again, a real estate agent listed this property, okay, because they're representing their client. Unlike a commercial property, you should still have your own real estate agent, because it's really not costing your agent, it's not costing you any money to get your agent to reach out to this agent to see if they could get any more information. Because if you don't have an agent and you call that agent has a client, and the client that this agent has is the seller. So even though that agent can operate for both of you, but I would prefer to have my own agent to do my due diligence so that I can be their client, because the seller of this property has already been told by their agent that whatever the commission is that they're going to pay, the agent that represents the seller is going to get a portion of that commission, and the agent that represents the buyer. Because again, how did I find this property? I found this property because I was able to go into a system, because my wife is a licensed agent and she has access to the system. So if I wanted to get more information for that property, my wife, a real estate agent, would reach out to that agent and say, hey, there are certain pieces of information more than what we see on the listing that I want, because my wife is going to bring that information back to me as her client, the investor, so I can go through my analysis. And again, if you have a real estate agent that understands this, it makes it easier for you, but you still need to understand it so that you can know what the real estate agent is doing is correct and accurate, and what this agent has done, or what the seller has done, and what the bank is going to do, or what your hard money lender is going to do. So everybody's going to be analyzing this deal. Everybody's going to be underwriting the deal, but I'm just saying you need to know how to do it. And so the first thing you're going to look at is the comparative market analysis. It may not mean a lot, because it may not be a big deal for the 250, because you may find other components that help you see the potential opportunity in this investment deal. But you at least want to know what the comparatives are, and that means, are there other duplexes in this area within a mile, a 2-3 mile radius, maybe a mile radius? Are there other duplexes or similar properties that have sold within the last few months? Have they traded within the last few months? If you can't find any, when was the last time one of these in this area sold? Just to get an idea. These are like comparative market analysis that are being done. So the CMA, so let's just assume you do the CMA and this is compatible. It's comparative. It's going to be about $250 for the average 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom duplex. Okay, we could. Now we want to look at the gross rent. Why do I want to look at the gross rent? Because I want to know what is the rent going for, not just on that property, but what is the rent going for with the typical 2-bedroom, 2-bath in that area? I want to know that. So let's say, for example, if this duplex has tenants, because it does, it said it in the description, and this duplex is renting it out. It didn't say what the price is. The agent would have to call that other agent to find out, like, what is the price? What is the trailing 12? Can you send some financials over to let us know? But it's not always guaranteed that it's going to be accurate. It's not always guaranteed that the seller is even going to have any books, because a lot of times these are just mom and pop people or a child that took over for their parents, and all they doing is just getting the rent money and spending it. They ain't keeping no books. They don't know nothing about nothing when it comes to the property. So we don't know what the situation is. So you have to do your own due diligence. So in a situation where, let's say, you just don't know, then what you're going to do is you can easily call or have your agent call property management companies in the area. So your agent can call a property management company and say, hey, I have a client, investor, looking to purchase a duplex on such and such road, street, and they're going to pick up a couple more whenever they're available, and most likely they're going to want to use a property management company. Can you give me an idea how much 2 and 2s are going? That property management company may say, oh, you know what? You see the duplex next door? I represent the client who owns it, and the rent is actually going for, let's say, $1,000 a month for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, right? Now, you may find out at certain points of your due diligence that the current rent for this one may be $800 a month. Because again, we don't know what the landlord or what the owner is doing. It could be a lot of deferred maintenance. It could be a lack of management, whatever the situation is. But this is information I want to know. I'm definitely going to find out how much the rent is now, but I also want to know what the market rent is. What is the gross rent in that market? What is the going rate? Because if I find out that this owner is renting these 2 units for $800 a month, right? And these are long-term tenants. They don't go up on the rent every month or any year. It's just been the same for the last 12 years. But I find out from a property management company or the agent who has done their due diligence that the market rent is actually $1,000. What did I just find out? What did I just find out? I just find out that there's a $200 opportunity if I can purchase this and go up at least $200 on the rent to match the market. Does that make sense? Okay. And so now we want to look at the operating expenses. Well, how are you going to know the operating expenses? How are you going to know what the operating expenses are? Well, you're really not going to know what the operating expenses are. Here's why. Because if you can't get the trailing 12 or the information of the financials from that owner, let's say they don't have it and you can't get it, then you have to do the math on what the taxes could potentially be, what the insurance could potentially be. What is the utilities? How is the utilities done with that property? You got to find out as much as you can so that you can start getting the numbers to do the math. Okay, so let's say in this example, if it's $800 a month right now. Okay, so that's $800 a month times 2. Now again, you could put all this in a software or in a system, and the software and the system is going to help you do these calculations. I'm just doing a rough analysis or underwriting with my phone. So mine's going to be a little scrappy. It ain't going to be like 100% perfect and polished, because I'm just like on a live show actually trying to walk you through something that probably takes more time and more patience. But let's just say for this example that the rent is $800 a month. So you take the monthly rent for both of them. That would be $1,600 a month times 12. So you're going to take the total rent, you're going to multiply it by 12, and what I would typically do is multiply that by 90%. Why am I doing that? Because what we're saying is we want to take 10% of the gross rent that's coming in annually and assume that we may not get 100% of the rent. So you do the total rent for both units, you times it not just by the month, but you times it by the year, and then you multiply that by 90. And so that would be, in this scenario, that would be $17,280. And again, that's assuming it's $800 rent. But if you know the market rent is $1,000, you can do that mathematical calculation. That would be $2,000 a month times 12 times 90%. And so the potential rent could actually be $21,600. So if you see, just with the CMA, the gross rent, and the operating expenses, well, not the operating expenses yet, I didn't do the expenses yet, you can see that I have at least come up with an idea of what the rent could possibly be coming in a year now, even at 90%, and what it could potentially be if I've gotten that data, that information. Like, this is like the simple way to analyze a property. So let's just assume, because it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, just a duplex, that the expenses, taxes, insurance, and a little maintenance, you setting a little money aside for reserve. Let's just say it's a 30% expense. All right, let's just say if it's a 30% expense. So what are you going to do? You're going to take the gross rents of $17,280, and you're going to multiply that by 30, and that's going to be $5,184. Or you can take the $17,280 and you can minus 30%. So if you minus 30% for operating expenses, you're going to take away $5,184, which it may be a little more than that, but let's just say for the purpose of this example, and that brings you to $12,096. That would be the real number based on an $800 a month rent. So you did your gross rent, $17,280, your operating expenses of 30% of $5,184, and your NOI would be $12,096, if that makes sense. Now, in my scenario, based on my 1,000 right here, that I'm doing my own analysis or underwriting on, I could be at 21,600 minus 5,184, and that will bring me a NOI of 16,416. Like, if you're lost on what I'm doing and you like, man, you ain't making no sense. I'm making sense to people who understand analyzing property. It's just something that you have to get used to doing. But again, if you're a real estate agent and you want to get into investing, or you want to serve others in investing, or if you want to be a real estate investor, you got to learn this. It's just no way you're going to do it and you're not going to learn this. You got to learn this, and you can't depend on other professionals to do all this for you, and you never do it, especially when you're taking your hard-earned money. So the NOI in my example could actually be 16,000. If they're doing 800 a month or somewhere close, their NOI could be 12,000 a month. Okay, and so this is this whole scenario that I'm giving you is just to show you how easy it is for you to go through each of these steps. We've already covered those 4 steps already. We still have 4 more. We still have the debt service coverage ratio, the cash flow, and the ROI. Now, before I finish the final 4, I want to make sure if you have any questions or comments, or if you understand what I've covered so far, just give me some feedback in the comments to let me know that this is a little more simpler, or if it's complicated, let me know. Why? Because I train people on our Millionaire Blueprint with this type of information. I walk people through each of these steps and scenarios. I consult and coach clients who want to get into real estate or who are in real estate and they just need someone like my wife and I to come in and to help them with some of the math and the metrics and the analysis of their underwriting. But I want to make sure that those of you that are watching our show on Wednesday, and now that we're introducing more information with regard to real estate investing to our community, that you're at least understanding it. Because I don't want to just be standing up here every Wednesday talking about real estate and you like blah, 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 blah. I don't understand nothing you're saying. I want you to understand it. So please give me some feedback and let me know that you are understanding what your boy is saying. Okay? Let me know that you understand what I'm saying. Please let me know, because we still have a whole lot of calculations that we have to do. Okay, so let me finish these calculations while you're putting that in the comments. So how are we going to determine the debt service? How are we going to determine the debt service? Well, if the duplex is $250,000, if the duplex is $250,000, we should assume that you're going to buy this as an investor. If you buy this as an investor, you're probably going to need to at least set aside 25%. Okay? So that means if you're setting aside 25% to purchase the property, you have to deduct 25% from the 250. Okay? So 250 minus 25%, that's $62,500 at 25% as an investor. That will leave you with $187,500. So your debt service, your mortgage, if you actually put 25% down on this property, okay, as an investor, that would be $62,500 to purchase this $250,000 duplex. Your debt service will be based on the $187,500. Now, how are you going to determine what the debt service is? Well, you can easily, if you have a lender, like we have an in-house lender. So let's say if you really wanted to purchase this property and you live in Metro Atlanta or in Georgia, or if you don't, but you wanted to purchase it, well, you could actually reach out to us and we could send you a link to an app. You can fill out the paperwork and we could get you pre-approved as an investor, and we will already have underwritten it on the financial side to let you know what your down payment will be and what your debt service will be. Okay, so you can actually get that done. We can do that for you because we have an in-house lender. But my point is, if you're just going through properties every day because you're trying to find deals as an investor or as an agent, you can just kind of use what they call a rate factor. So the rate factor today may be, let's say, 6%. So if the rate factor is 6%, what you're going to do is you're going to take the $187,500, that would be $250, less the 25% down payment, which is $62,500, and you're going to multiply what's remaining for that piece of property by, let's say, 6%. And so you will get $11,250. That's called the rate factor. It may be lower, but again, if you're just analyzing deals and underwriting deals, you may not get all this real information from everybody. You may just do your own due diligence and underwriting to give you an idea of is there a deal here, okay? So let's just say if you use the rate factor of 6% for the debt service of $187,500 based on a 25% down payment, okay? And it was $11,250. Well, you're gonna have to take the $12,096 and you're gonna have to deduct that from the $11,000. Well, guess what? Just doing that here, you're gonna see it's only $1,000 you're gonna net from this property. Am I correct on that? Yeah. That's $2,000. Yeah, that would be $800. That would be your $800 times 2 times 12 times 90. So based on their numbers, if your debt service is $11,250 and your NOI is $12,000, you're already starting to see that it ain't no deal there. It ain't no money in there. But maybe if you did the $21,000, because you're going to go up $1,000, let's say if we did that, we say $11,250. We're going to take our NOI of $21,600 and we're going to subtract $11,250 for debt service. That means your cash flow could be $10,350 with my scenario. So did you see what I just did? With the scenario of what it may be at $800 a month, there's nothing left. There's no meat on the bone. So one potential investor or agent may say, it ain't nothing there. It ain't nothing but $1,000. But then another potential investor, actually, I messed that one up because my NOI was really 16. So let me go back and do that. I was wrong with that one. I was wrong. My debt service is $11,250, so it wouldn't be off of the 21. It will actually be off of the 16. So that's my bad. I told y'all when you just on here doing math, you're gonna make mistakes. So that will actually be $51.66. So again, you can either see a cash flow of $5,166 here, or if you did their scenario at $12,000, 12,096 minus 11,250, that could be $846 a year. So if you do this calculation, it's going to show you if this is a deal. So let's say if your cash flow was $51.66 because you knew you were going to go up on the rent $200. You was going to rent this duplex out for $200. Nothing happened. Nobody moved out. You got your $1,000 every month for a year, and you tried to figure out, so what is the return on my investment? So how am I going to understand the return on my investment? Well, I'm going to get my net ROI, which would be $51.66, and I'm going to divide this by my total investment. What was my total investment? Well, my down payment was $62,500. So let's just say it was $62,500, okay? I'm gonna divide that by $62,500, and then I'm going to multiply that by 100, and this is gonna show that I could get an 8% return on my $62,000 investment. So just with this property, and I'm just doing it off the hip right here on a live show, this could actually be an 8% return if everything goes right. So then you got to decide, do I want to take $62,000, maybe $65,000, maybe $70,000, put it into a property, hope that I get all my rent every month for the next year, to get an 8% return, maybe a 7 or 6% return on my money. Well, if you leave it in the bank, you ain't even gonna get a 1% return. So this is how you really analyze these properties to figure out where is the deal in the deal. And the truth is, if this was a nice area, if it was a little stable, if it seemed to be something that was doable, there are a lot of investors who will say, you know what, I don't mind making 8% on $60,000, even though it ain't nothing but $51.66 a year, but I could find new ways to lift that percentage and to lift that cash flow. How? Well, if I go back through here, maybe my down payment didn't have to be that much. Maybe my debt service rate factor was too high and I could get it at 3%. Maybe the maintenance or the operating expenses were not 30%. Maybe it was 18%. So all of a sudden, this 51 turns into 8, 9, 10, and this 8% turns into 12, 13, 14. Hey y'all, I'm telling you, this is how I've seen this happen time and time again with people who are legitimate investors. And guess what? What makes them legitimate investors is because they understand terms and how to use those terms to properly analyze properties. And I'm telling you, if you have If you would have had someone who didn't understand this to look at this one duplex, they probably would have missed half of this. They probably wouldn't even seen that, man, this is an 8% return. Worst case scenario. That's with a 30% expense. That's with a 6% rate factor for the debt service. That's with 25% down. And maybe it's not even that. It may not even be that bad. So I want you to take that into consideration, that if you're looking at becoming an agent, if you're looking at getting into real estate investing, before you do, please learn how to get into the practice of real estate, because that was like, it don't get no more realer than that. Like literally, I just pulled that property up this morning. And when I started going through the math and the numbers on my calculator, I didn't even put the property in my software. We have software for residential and commercial properties that we could put all the information in, and we start seeing the analytics and the math. I didn't even do it because a lot of times I'm just pulling up properties and I'm just practicing and rehearsing and just building my muscle to familiarize myself with it, as if I'm getting ready to buy the property. Even if I don't buy it, I want to at least know, if I bought it, what could I have found in it as an opportunity. And it keeps me reminded that there are deals everywhere. You just got to be able to create the deal, and you create the deal by knowing those terms and doing the analytics with that information you get on that property. So if you're interested in learning more about real estate investing, if you're interested in learning how to start and structure a holding company and have a real estate investment company under the umbrella of your holding company, if you're interested in learning creative tax strategies that you can use with a holding company that owns a real estate investment company, if you're interested in learning how to sell yourself and market yourself and do what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis, I want you to take advantage of our Millionaire Blueprint. We have an online business and financial wealth building system. We give you 1 year access to it. It's a $1,500 program. And guess what? It was originally intended to be for $5,000, but we are offering a discount for $1,500. So you can get access to our Millionaire Blueprint, a $5,000 program. We're adding new programs to it on a regular basis. And the more programs we add to it, the higher the value is. I know that there are people right now today, some of which are in Metro Atlanta and in other major cities, who are doing a lot of teaching, a lot of consulting and coaching on the same similar topics that I'm coaching and consulting people on. And they're charging tens of thousands of dollars for programs that I've already been lurking and checking out. And they ain't even as good as mine. They ain't even got as much information as I do. They ain't even doing it the way we doing it. I think some of them might be stealing a little bit of what we got. You know how you be watching people and then all of a sudden they come out with certain things and you like, where you got that from? Did you hear me say that? Because all of a sudden now that's what you do. But it ain't no hate. Hey, it is what it is. I hope people can admire what I do to the point that they want to come and try to take and copy and paste what I'm doing. Hey, the more the merrier. Just make sure it ain't nothing that's copywritten or trademark, because I'm going to have my lawyers coming after you. All right. But all jokes aside, we have a Millionaire Blueprint. It's an online program. And we also have our Millionaire Mentorship program, because maybe in addition to training, you need me to coach you. Maybe you need me to mentor you. Maybe you need me to do what I just did here with deals and opportunities that you come across, and you just need that person on your side working with you to make sure that you succeed in whatever it is that you're doing. Well, guess what? You can take advantage of our Millionaire Mentorship program either way, whether it's our online Millionaire Blueprint or our Millionaire Mentorship program, which comes with our Millionaire Blueprint. We give you access to it for a year. All you have to do is just text the word millionaire to 678-922-1963. If you would like to join my Millionaire Blueprint program or our Millionaire Mentorship program, all you have to do is text the word millionaire to 678-922-1963. Once you text millionaire to me, We're going to reach back out to you. We will take you through a brief initial assessment over the phone. It may be 5 or 10 minutes. And that initial assessment is just going to give us an opportunity to ask you some qualifying questions to make sure that whatever the programs are that we have, that they best fit your criteria. For me, as a business, financial, and real estate consultant, I assume a moral, a ethical, a spiritual, and a fiducial responsibility to make sure that every client that I serve or potential client that I serve, that I direct you to the products and services or programs that best fit what you want to accomplish in your personal, your professional, and your financial life. And so all of my team members know when we have an opportunity to speak to someone who has questions or who wants to know more about what we do and what we offer, that they have to ask the right questions to make sure we can match you up with the products, the services, and the programs that best fit your criteria. And so if that will be the Millionaire Blueprint, we will give you access to that Millionaire Blueprint. If it is our Millionaire Mentorship program, because you need a coach to walk with you, if you need accountability, if you need to come in once a month to our headquarter days, if you need to be in person with our quarterly workshops and masterminds and master classes, whatever it is that you need, we will help you identify with what programs, what services, what products we have that best fit that criteria. And then you can make an educated decision on what you want to do, because our goal is to help you start, structure, and scale your business so that you can succeed. That's what it's all about, because your success becomes our success. If you winning, we winning. So if you want more information, or if you have questions and you would like to speak to us about our Millionaire Blueprint and or our Millionaire Mentorship program, text the word millionaire to 678-922-1963. Also, you can go to RamonPreston.com. RamonPreston.com. That's our main web portal, and there you'll find information about our Millionaire Blueprint, our Millionaire Mentorship program, our certification program. We actually have a certification program that we certify coaches and consultants. We show you how to coach and consult your clients our way. And it's an amazing way that we do. We have a process and a system that we use that has really helped a lot of entrepreneurs in their businesses, ministers in their ministries, and individuals in their finances. We have a licensing program. Maybe you would like to become a licensee. You can literally purchase a license and have exclusive rights and access to sell our Millionaire Mentorship program, our Millionaire Blueprint, our digital products. You have exclusive rights and access to our curriculum, our materials, all of our content. We also have a white label licensing, meaning that you can literally take my content, my curriculum, my material, my products, my services, and remove my big head off of your flyer, put your name and whatever the products and services are that you want to use. You have a white label licensing to use them under your own name and your banner. We want to help people. We want to serve our community, and we want to give our people a reason to succeed. And we want to give them the tools to make sure that their success is inevitable. So we love y'all. Appreciate you all for joining us on this Real Estate Wednesday, this Winning Wednesday. Again, text the word millionaire to 678-922-1963. Or just go to Ramon Preston, RamonPreston.com. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to tag. Don't forget to leave a comment, leave feedback. Don't forget to subscribe, okay? We need you to subscribe. We need more subscribers on our YouTube page. So please share our YouTube page with your family members and your friends. Please be sure to give other people an opportunity to hear what we're hearing. All right, shout out to some of you I see on YouTube right now. Shout out to Vera. Vera, she said, I think it's a she. I hope I'm not wrong. Vera said, you forgot CC. Cha-ching for all the money coming in. I like that. Shout out to Caroline Stevens. Shout out to Chan. Shout out to Oscar. We've got, let's see here. Who else do we have? Muhammad. Ashley from Canada. Ashley from Canada. Muhammad from Cairo, Egypt. Dolly from Chicago. Hey, Dolly. We have Julian from Indonesia. Elias from Ethiopia. Rafaela. Giovanna from Brazil, Rio de Janeiro. Come on through here. We got Sammy, Mosa, Fernanda from Brazil. We got Kanishka. I hope I got that right. From Sri Lanka. We have Calmness with Nature from Kabul. We've got Eric. I ain't even going to try your last name, Eric. I ain't going to do you like that. Eric from Mexico. We got Vitor from Sao Paulo, Brazil. We've got Ashutosh from Nepal. Tarek, shout out to you. We've got Ankia. Ankia says, I'm watching from South Africa. Shout out to you and our people in South Africa. Blessings to you. Nugent from Vietnam. Moba from Jakarta, Indonesia. We've got Kasan watching from Colombo. We've got a lot of people watching. So please, if there's anything that we can do to help you, to serve you, give us a holler. Give us a holler. Let us know. Let us know what we can do. We're here to help you. Appreciate all of you. Thank you for joining us today on the Ramon Preston Show. We will be back here tomorrow, 12 o'clock noon, Thursday, January the 6th, tomorrow. We will be here live, 12 o'clock noon. I may even have my digital whiteboard behind me. I'm not 100% sure. So please subscribe to our YouTube page. Make sure that you are a subscriber. We need your subscriptions. We need you to share our YouTube page. We want to get to 10,000 subscribers. We want to help a lot of people. We want to help a lot of people learn about holding companies. We want to help a lot of people learn about real estate investing. We want to help a lot of people learn about sales and marketing. We want to help a lot of people learn about financial education and literacy and systems and structures and processes. And we want people to learn about biblical wealth building. This is something that our communities need. We need to get that bag because we need to be able to take care of ourselves, our families, our churches, our communities, and the world. And we cannot do that if we're economically depleted and imprisoned. So I love all of you. Appreciate all of you. I'll see you right here, same place, same time, on the Ramon Preston